Why is there a harbor seal walking around the office?
Oh, that's our new CEO.
Come again?
Well, apparently they didn't order through Easy Cater for the board meeting, and when the food didn't arrive, they kind of lost focus. Next thing you know...
We have a seal as our CEO. Did I say something wrong?
No, she just wants a mackerel. Here you go.
Bad ideas happen when there's no food for the meeting. So make sure it's on time and as ordered from more than 80,000 restaurants. How? Easy Cater.
Thank you. I just got promoted.
Order 24/7 on easycater.com.
Summer is heating up, and that means motorcycle season is in full swing. At Dennis Kirk, we've got everything to make sure you don't miss a minute of it. Whatever you ride, Harley, Indian, Metric Cruiser, or Sport Bike, you'll find what you need at DennisKirk.com. They've got 160,000 parts and accessories in stock, clothing and helmets too. Order before 8 p.m. and they ship the same day. Plus, shipping is free for orders over $89. When the open road calls, head to DennisKirk.com. They ship today.
Minneapolis police were dispatched to cut foods at 38th and Chicago the night of May 25, 2020. A store employee told police that a man, later identified as George Floyd, used a counterfeit $20 bill inside the store. Thomas Lane and J. Alexander King were the first MPD officers at the scene.
You see your hands.
Damn, man.
Stay in the car. Let me see your other hand.
I'm sorry.
Let me see your other hand.
Please, Miss Officer.
Both hands.
Do nothing.
After detaining Floyd, officers struggled to get him in the back of a squad car.
I am claustrophobic for real, Mr. Officer.
You got him?
Could you please crack it for me, please?
Yes, I'll crack it.
Stay with me, man.
I will.
Please stay with me, man. Thank you.
As the struggle continued, officers chose to lay Floyd face down on the ground outside of the car. As two officers held his lower body down, Derek Chauvin, a veteran MPD officer, knelt on Floyd's neck.
Please. Please. Please, I can't breathe. Please, man.
As onlookers pleaded with police to get off of Floyd, Floyd went silent.
You just sitting there stopping, he's breathing right
Look
now.
at you.
George Floyd was later taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. Afterwards, a bystander video shot by Darnella Frazier began circulating online. The video showed Chauvin failing to take his knee off of Floyd's neck for nearly 10 minutes. As the world woke up the following morning to the news out of South Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Police Department told their own version about what had taken place.
And officers noticed that the male was going into medical distress. Officers called for an ambulance. He was transported to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he died a short time later.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey was quick to condemn the officers' actions, announcing later that day that all 4 officers had been fired.
I believe what I saw, and what I saw was wrong at every level.
Anger and frustration boiled over across the Twin Cities, and large crowds gathered near 38th and Chicago and the 3rd Police Precinct. WCCO Radio's Sloan Martin detailed the police presence early on.
A line of police in riot gear holding sticks, shields over their faces. There's even some police officers holding non-lethal weapons.
Anger turned into violence as looting and fire spread quickly across South Minneapolis, particularly on Lake Street.
Minneapolis is burning at this hour. At least down around the 3rd Precinct, a number of buildings remain on fire. At least one person is dead. It's been a night of riots and protests.
Similar carnage was felt in St. Paul's Midway.
Thick smoke choking the air as an auto parts store is set ablaze for the 2nd straight night as the protests into day 3 after the death of George Floyd.
The night before Chauvin was arrested and charged in Floyd's death, crowds channeled their anger towards the 3rd Precinct, setting it on fire. This bystander described the scene on WCCO Radio.
So I came from the precinct, and the front of the building was on fire. In the back, they're trying to use a barricade to break into the back of the building.
Derek Chauvin was eventually charged with 3rd-degree murder and 2nd-degree manslaughter. However, the charge was upgraded to 2nd-degree murder. Chauvin was the first Minneapolis police officer to be charged in the death of a black civilian. In the weeks and months leading up to Chauvin's trial, the 3rd-degree murder charge was dropped, but was eventually reinstated by Judge Peter Cahill as jury selection was underway.
The Court of Appeals has said in a precedential opinion, specifying the single-person rule applies to 3rd-degree murder. I feel bound by that, and I feel it would be an abuse of discretion not to grant the motion.
Eventually, a jury was selected with 6 white, 4 black, and 2 multiracial jurors selected. Witnesses during the trial included Darnella Frazier, who told the jury that the incident changed her life forever, saying it keeps her up at night.
Apologizing to George Floyd for not doing more and not physically interacting and not saving his life.
Pulmonary and critical care physician Dr. Martin Tobin told the court that Floyd's underlying health conditions played no role into his death.
It was almost to the effect as if a surgeon had gone in and removed the lung. Not quite, but along those lines.
Tobin added that Chauvin's knee, combined with how George Floyd's body was positioned, made surviving the situation nearly impossible.
There was virtually very little opportunity for him to be able to get any air to move into the left side of his chest.
Jury deliberation began April 19th. After 10 hours of deliberation, a verdict was reached. Crowds gathered outside of the Hennepin County Government Center as the city and world watched and listened.
Judge is on the bench! Judge is on the bench!
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty.
Guilty!
Verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. Verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty.
With the guilty verdicts, Derek Chauvin became the first white Minnesota police officer to be convicted of murdering a black person. Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Oh, thanks, everyone. I have 2 announcements. First, we didn't use Easy Cater for this meeting, which is why the food never arrived. Also, and I just thought of this, effective immediately, everyone will be paid in wildly volatile cryptocurrency. You're all now billionaires. And now you're broke.
Bad ideas happen when there's no food for the meeting. So make sure it's on time and as ordered from more than 80,000 restaurants. Now, Easy Cater.
You're rich again. And now you're not.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
Respect. It's more than a word. In the U.S. Army, respect is earned every day. And now, in addition to earning respect, you may qualify to earn up to $40,000 in bonuses. Learn more at goarmy.com/bonus or call 1-800-US-ARMY. Paid for by the U.S. Army.